My name is Rag Reynolds and welcome back to Medium Rare. This video is a video that has been a long time coming. It is a video that will hopefully be the final chapter in this saga with RealStream News. If you are not aware of who RealStream News is already, then this video is perfect for you, because I'm going to go through his entire YouTube history. I'm going to start at the beginning 2 years ago, and I'm going to work all the way up till now, cover every single scandal. And if you do know all of these things, then this video is also for you, because you're going to get extra information, extra insight. I've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on this video, and although I may be biased, I completely admit that I am 100% biased against RealStream News, against CJ. But in this video, I have tried my best to show both sides of the argument. The people I have asked questions to in some of these interviews that you're going to see from me, I've asked some of them some tough questions. I've asked them things from his perspective. I've tried to get a full picture here of why he's doing what he's doing, why certain things have happened, and whether or not he belongs on this platform. Whether or not he is or is not a danger to others. So in this video, I'm keeping my opinions out of it for the majority of this video. I will be showing you interviews, I will be showing you clips, I will be showing you evidence about all sorts of different things, and other people will be giving you their opinions. The people I'm interviewing will be stating what they think. But for the most part, I'm not going to sit here and address the camera and tell you this is why he's a horrible person. I'm just going to be telling you, this happened, here's some context around it, and now here's some people speaking about it and their experiences with that situation. I want this video to be an open letter of sorts to both RealStream News and to the YouTube community in general. And I hope that if a consensus is found that he is a danger to others, or if he is a nuisance on this platform, that something can be done about that. And if not, then let it be. And hopefully this will be my final video on the subject, and that is where it will be laid to rest. It is down to you guys. I will give you all the information you need. I will give you everything in this video. What you do with this video, what you do after this video is out there, that is entirely up to the people watching it, and I will leave that with you all. I have been very involved in this entire process over the last couple of years, and I will not be bringing up any personal beef between myself and RSN. I've made many videos in the past where we've had some petty drama between us, or I've made jokes and run around in costumes dressed up like him and made fun of him. I'm not going to be doing any of that in this video. This is a serious video that is going to be addressing very serious accusations, very serious scandals. And I hope that everyone watching this will at least take the time to listen to what I have to say and what the people I'm interviewing have to say. Because I think it's a story that needs to be told. It's a story that I think needs to get out there more. Bigger YouTubers refuse to cover this because he's too small. It doesn't matter if they think he's a horrible person or not. Bigger YouTubers won't touch it, because he's a small channel and it's not going to do them any good. But maybe this video and your response to this video can help change that. And I want to preface this again. Last thing I want to say before we get into this is, do not use this video as an excuse to harass anyone, to bully anyone, or anything of the sort. I do not condone anyone going from here to going harass RSN and telling him, oh, you're such a scumbag. I mean, I know people do that already, but do not do it on my behalf. I do not condone anyone doing anything like that on my behalf, and I feel like that's important for me to state here, because I don't want this video to come across as me just trying to harass a guy or trying to destroy a man's life or anything like that. This is me genuinely being concerned about the actions of an individual on this platform and those he has affected and perhaps could affect in the future. And it is me wanting to get the full picture out there as unbiased as I possibly can, being a biased party, and I want people to then do with that as they will. So without further ado, I present to you the complete, unabridged RealStream news story.
RSN is a liar, a cheater, and a rapist.
RealStream News is a horrible person.
My experience with CJ has been positive.
He's capable of being a good person.
I'm trying to do good.
Something traumatic has just happened to you.
I said no twice.
The fact that she never gave consent.
No means no, you creep.
Someone did tell me that they weren't going to call the police on him.
They said that I was gonna kill my grandmother.
And like he sent the pictures of my tits.
It wasn't like how some people try to make it out to be.
At a minimum, it's highly inappropriate.
If anybody acts like I'm in the wrong, I'm gonna release every single DM there is.
He will pick on vulnerable women.
Thank you for disliking these streams over and over and over again.
RealStream News started out as a guy behind a mask. He was a guy who uploaded streams to his YouTube channel, but these weren't his streams, they were streams from other YouTubers who would go on the likes of YouNow, and they would talk on YouNow, and then later on, RealStream News, he would take down their stream from YouNow, he would copy it, and he would upload it to his YouTube channel in case anyone had missed anything. He would edit it down and post the juicy clips. Now this was very similar to another channel quite popular in the same sort of community called The Blarg. The Blarg had pretty much no competition back at the time until RealStream News popped up. There was a little rivalry that kind of sparked between the two of them when RSN appeared, with RSN being very adamant that he was better than the Blarg. He was nothing like the Blarg. He was faster than the Blarg. He was more reliable than the Blarg. The Blarg didn't take too kindly to RSN and even accused him of stealing some of their content, as did some other people. It was seemingly found that RealStream News had been going on to other people's YouTube channels, downloading the streams and the clips that they had edited and uploaded, and then he was posting them on his channel as his own. A lot of people didn't have any issue with this, as they were never streams that belonged to RealStream News, the Blarg, or any of these people uploading them in the first place. They were just recording them and then uploading edited clips of them. But a lot of people still had a big issue with it and called him a content thief, because he was essentially going and taking someone else's hard work. It's not always straightforward and super easy to record a stream or always be reliable to catch a stream on YouNow and then edit it and upload it. It does take time, it does take effort. So some people were understandably annoyed. Eventually RSN's channel started to change a little, and he started uploading his own streaming content. He started streaming when he was at home, he started streaming in the streets. He'd done a lot of what is known as IRL streaming. And a lot of people tuned in, and those people were mainly people who were interested in the other streams that he was re-uploading. He had already built himself a few thousand people who watched those streams that he kept re-uploading. So when it came to posting his own streams out there, he already had a little bit of a base audience. And from there, RealStream News eventually transitioned away entirely from uploading other people's streams, and he is now what he is today. And what he does now is he does more sort of commentary and reaction style live streams and videos. In mid-March of 2018 is when RealStream News had his first little scandal. Yes, he had previously been accused of stealing a stream here or there, but overall, no one had really batted much of an eye at him. But this is when RealStream News started to talk about Sam. Now, if you don't know who Sam is, Sam was an ex-friend of Onision's. Now, there had been a lot of drama surrounding Sam and Onision and all of that stuff around that time. And when RealStream News started to talk about Sam, he seemingly started to make up some rumours about her. RealStream News was starting to tell people and assume that Sam was back at Onision's house, even though she wasn't there anymore. And when confronted on this by Sam, RealStream News tried to defend himself by saying that she had never said that she wasn't back at Onision's house. It also came out in a series of leaked direct messages between RealStream News and Sam that RealStream News had been acting very unprofessional and pushy towards her. He wanted Sam to supply her with some clips from one of her Twitch streams where she had been speaking about some Onision drama. When Sam did not provide the stream or those clips right away, RealStream News got very pushy and annoyed with her. Sam tried to defend herself by saying it's not her job to supply him with streams. She doesn't have to give him anything, especially not edited. That takes time and effort. And RealStream News' response to all of this was that Sam just didn't understand what he was saying, and that she was being stupid because he could make her a star. He could help out her Twitch and get her more viewers. And unfortunately, this unprofessional and strange and pushy behaviour that we could see exhibited in these Sam DMs turned out to not be the only examples that we saw of RealStream News acting this way towards other women. Screenshots of direct messages with several other women started to materialise and float around. Even some of his old tweets that began to surface started to paint a picture of the kind of guy RealStream News was, and how creepy and desperate he was seemingly acting towards women online. As all of these scandals were coming to light, I decided to insert myself and essentially lead the charge against RealStream News. I made a couple of videos about him, and that is when the blarg put me in touch with someone very key to the future of the RealStream News saga. The person I was put in touch with was a woman named CJ, who had claimed to be an ex-associate of RealStream News. She had a lot to say, and she made many claims about him. She claimed that they had been like close friends for a time, and that he had confided in her with a lot of information. She made claims such as RSN was a drug addict, that he was a deadbeat dad, and that he had been so pushy with her that he had tried to get her to leave her husband and fly out to him to be Mrs. RSN. She even claimed that CJ only started going by CJ because her name was CJ, and he was trying to be more relatable to her. Eventually, I ended up conducting an interview with this woman, and now I'm going to play you some of the key points of that interview. Okay, and so when was it that he contacted you for the first time, and why did he contact you? Or were you the one who contacted him first? How did that work out?
He was on live stream. He was wearing that hospital mask. It was like a Dollar Tree hospital mask, and he like cut a hole in it because he didn't want anybody to know his identity, and he was vaping through it. Like, I commented on there, I was like, look, like, that's ghetto. Like, you know, like, they have masks because, like, people in Japan, like, air pollution and stuff. I said, maybe you should, you know, think about upgrading into that because, you know, it'll look less ghetto. And he was like, do you sell them? And I'm like, no, I don't sell them, but if you buy one, my husband and I own a business to where we can personalize it for you. We moved from emailing, my business email, his business email, or whatever you want to call it, and then he told me to add him on the Facebook Messenger, which I didn't mind. I was like, yeah, like, maybe he needs to see that I'm legit, you know, like, needs to see some of my stuff that I've done, like, that's fine. And then around my birthday, which is the beginning of March, I was on there, and like, he had made comments before, like, right when I first added him, is like when the creepy comments started. He was like, oh my gosh, like, you're gorgeous, like, if you weren't married, like, I'd totally be hitting on you. And I was like, please don't, like, I think I said my husband and I's stuff is linked or something, but, you know, when you're married, like, I have my Facebook logged in on a gaming computer, like, it's completely open, you know, like, that's how a marriage works. And like, I told him, like, look, I don't want you to, like, ruin this business opportunity. And that was, like, way before he had even gotten the masks. Around my birthday, he was like, you're on Facebook a lot. And I'm like, yeah, like, I do business over Facebook. Like, that's what I do. Like, that's how people contact me. And then he was like, well, I just think that there's something wrong. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I just don't think that you're happy in your marriage. I said, like, wow. Excuse me? And he was like, yeah, like, there's something wrong with you being on Facebook this much. After the whole thing was done with that, like, I didn't see, like, I knew, like, that it was creepy that he was coming to me, like, about my relationship and all that, but, like, I didn't, like, see, like, no harm in it, like, if he wasn't, like, approaching me or anything like that. And then he was like, something, like, this is becoming too much for me, like, I'm a one-man scene, you should be Miss RSN. I can't say that he said it because I may have told him to get a Miss RSN. You know what I mean? Because it'd be like Mass Babe and Mass Man. You know what I mean? Like it's just cute. Like people would die for relationships, especially kids. And then he was like, "How about you fly out here?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, like how about you fly out here?" And I'm like, what? Then he's like, "Yeah, like you can fly out here and you'll be behind a mask, like nobody will know, da 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 da." And I feel like it was like a manipulation tactic. He was covering his face on YouTube because he is about to, I want to say, stand trial, or he is going through the courts for a possession with intent to distribute heroin.
Could you tell a little story about he had changed his name on Facebook because his name was it was CS and then it became CJ around the time he started talking to you?
Yeah, he had to change it from CS and then he changed them to CJ because he didn't want anybody to dig up, anything that they could Google about him. And he was like, like, what do I, like, name myself or whatever? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And then, my initials, and he just took CJ.
Evidence to back up many of these claims made by CJ against RSN eventually came to be. I am not going to be talking about the situation regarding RealStream News and his child, because frankly, that's none of any of our businesses, and I would rather stay entirely clear of that. But the rest of the information and evidence that came out, I thought was very important to share, and I still think to this day that it's very important to share, because I think it helps paint a picture of the type of guy he was, and perhaps still is, and why he thinks and acts in certain ways. Some posts from an old Reddit account belonging to RSN began to surface, and these posts confirmed that RealStream News was into doing many different drugs, including heroin. Some other posts also confirmed that he even once robbed a drug dealer, and that for a long stretch of time he would repeatedly cheat on his ex-girlfriend. But those old Reddit posts weren't exactly necessary for people to see that something wasn't exactly quite right with RSN, especially after he had been unmasked. Not only was he super aggressive with clear anger issues,
Why do you even want to leak it, you idiot? Why?
There were also times where he'd just doze off on streams.
So yeah, that should be really fun. Man, I gotta
And as per CJ's claims, he was up at all hours and would always be up very early in the morning so that he could go and get his methadone from the clinic. As time went on, RSN started to fancy himself as a reputable news source, so I decided to try and test that out. I offered up a false sexual harassment story against myself using fake accounts and also the help of a couple of friends. Some of these stories were so ridiculous and insane that no one in their right mind would ever even consider them to be legit. One of these stories alleged that I was one day at a meat-eating convention and I slapped a girl on the ass and called her my habibi. The ages and dates in these stories were all entirely wrong as well. Yet RSN ate up every single detail of every story. Immediately, he made a new video and some Twitter posts and emailed me trying to blackmail me into not talking about him anymore.
But they wanted my help to get this story out, so, I'm using my platform to do that.
He didn't check out any of the accounts who were sending him stories, and he didn't even think about the information for even a second. He didn't even take the time to confirm how old I was and compare that to the ages given in those stories. Fast forward a little bit and we get to the first big scandal of his YouTube career, and perhaps what was the worst scandal of them all. Now, this is a scandal that to this day has been very controversial, and even some of the staunchest anti-RSN people still are split on this story. Some believe it and some don't. So what happened? Well, This is the Amber situation.
So we're just on stream to pretty much just clarify what's going on. All right. So yeah.
I want to.
So Amber came down the first night. All right, and yeah, like I guess there was some drinking. All right, and then afterwards, you know, we cut the stream after like 4 hours or whatever, and you know, I was just like, hey, you know, like, I didn't know we were gonna have separate beds, whatever. And then, like, I guess, you know, like, I don't know, whatever. I said, whatever, and then, yeah, she said to come over to her bed, so, and then, like, she could do it to cuddle or whatever, and so we decided to cuddle, and yeah, she said, I guess she didn't want to hook up, like, you know, I guess at first or whatever, and then, whatever, we ended up hooking up, and I guess, you know, she's upset about it. And,
I said no.
And then during it,
and I said no twice, and then I was like laying there, and I was like, whatever, just do whatever you want to.
Like, I didn't think I was being aggressive with Amber. I didn't think I was being aggressive. I was just, you know, like cuddling with her, like, you know, people do when they cuddle, and then we had sex, and while we were having sex, I asked where she wanted me to.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, she said she doesn't. She said she doesn't remember this, but I asked her where she wanted me to come, and she said inside her, and then, you know, so that I thought this was like, I didn't think this was an issue, and that's it. Like, I know there's a lot of speculation on what happened or whatever, and then like I got upset that she talked to like the blog and Rag and
Mass, which
and Mass Babe and shit, and
they're nice,
but like obviously they're like, I don't know, it was like a miscommunication. I thought Amber came out here to like want to hang out and like that I thought she liked me, you know what I mean? Like I thought she liked me.
He
like
messaged me multiple times before I took a plane out here that he really was attracted to me, and I didn't reply to them because I didn't want to tell him I didn't like him and not be able to come out here and work with him. And it's being published because he's making us publish it.
Well, I'm not.
You said we were.
Well, I'm not making you publish it.
No,
Come
well,
on.
you want to put it.
Like I'm just saying, like I have to say it to the people eventually. You know what I mean? And you said let's do it together, right? I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not. Please don't make. So, you know. Yeah. I know. It's just.
And now he's leaving.
I'm not leaving. It's just you don't want me to be here, right? So, you know. It just it wasn't like I didn't think you were like completely. You weren't completely like.
I told you I wasn't into guys.
You said to me that you were more into girls. That's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, this is turning into a rape thing real fast.
In April of 2018, RealStream News flew a girl named Amber Clements out to stay with him for a few days. They stayed in a hotel room together and they had separate beds. Amber was a girl that he had met online through some Onision drama. Over the days that Amber was visiting with RSN continued to do his usual live streams. He was streaming non-stop pretty much every day. Meanwhile, Amber was off in the background somewhere of all of these streams. At this time, RSN was almost 30 and Amber was 20 years old. On one of the live streams while she was there, Amber was shown drinking some shots of alcohol. How much she actually drank that day and how drunk she was is still very much a subject of debate. Now, a couple of days later, RSN and Amber got on a YouTube livestream together to talk about the night that Amber had been drinking and what had happened.
Man, this is turning into a rape thing real fast. It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know, is it?
Oh. Are you saying that or no?
No, but everyone else thinks so. My mom thinks so.
I didn't say nothing to nobody.
You think it was rape?
I'm not saying a word out loud.
Oh no, they can't hear you anyway.
I know what people are gonna think, but
yeah, everyone said.
She said she was like into girls, and what you said to me was you were into girls.
I never said I liked you. Yes.
Are you saying that?
I never liked you.
All right. Afterwards, you said that you could threaten that, right? And didn't we have this conversation? You said that didn't happen like that, right? That I didn't rape you, right?
No, but it feels like.
But you did say that to me, right? Be honest, please. Please be honest. This is my fucking life here. Please, this is my life. Please be honest. I was rubbing your thigh, and you said after you said.
And I said no.
You said no twice, and then
yes,
and then
and
you
I
said
did,
yes, right?
And
then you said yes, right? I didn't force myself, right? You said yes, right?
I said whatever. I've been raped twice.
I don't.
I told you that before you got in bed with
You said
me.
afterwards. You said that afterwards. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know that happened to you.
Yes, I told you.
I would never do that to you. I didn't know that.
I think you need to come home now.
I can't come home now. There's
I'll get you a ticket. It's fine. I'll make sure it's paid for. All right. I'll make
I
sure
feel
it's
like
paid
an
for.
asshole.
We just wanted to come on stream to make sure this was straightened out on both ends, so you guys know what's going on. Okay.
I didn't really want to, but yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Now, obviously, that clip it's horrible and it's very upsetting. After this live stream, RSN left the hotel and he was picked up in a car by his grandmother. People said he was running from the cops, and it was very strange because although he had left and this had all gone down, he was live streaming in the back of his grandmother's car.
Please don't say it on camera. Don't say anything like that. Okay? No, I'm not worrying about being exposed. I'm worried about fucking going to jail, you fucking idiot. That's what I'm worried about. You know? What she said to me was like, oh, it could be worse. So I recorded that immediately when she said that, because I have a recorder, because I record this shit. You know, I record it, stuff like that. So I recorded it. And then I was like, you're not going to tell anybody that I raped you, right? And she's like, well, no. But like, it was like a regular encounter. Sometimes like some people say no, and I never forced myself on her. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to manipulate. I just want you guys to understand what happened. That's it.
It later came out that RSN had a criminal history and that he had a lot of unpaid fines. Amber had help from some friends online, along with the police, to stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, to get some food, and then to get herself home. Obviously this is a sensitive subject, but is it true that this was not your first time where you were a victim of an alleged sex crime?
Yes, it's true. When I was 4, my father molested me, and he pled guilty and went to jail for a while. The second time, I lost my virginity at 15 to a local celebrity, which was consensual, but under the our state law, it wasn't, and my mom got involved in that. And then CJ, but that's it. I have issues with saying no. I have issues with a lot of things from my past, but yeah.
We're going to move to the actual CJ incident now, so if anything's uncomfortable or whatever, then just let me know, but I'm just going to ask you what the questions are. So, what were your intentions when you flew out to stay with CJ? Like, was it to stream? Like, I think I heard before that the intention was you were going to go out there, you were going to do some streams with him, you were maybe going to start your own channel, that type of thing.
Wanted to be like a drama or a vlog channel. Like, I used to have a YouTube for like covers, like to sing, but I don't even really use YouTube. The main reason I wanted to go out to fly to CJ is because I wanted to change his views on Greg Onision, because he was such a big hater, and he knew why I was coming out there. Well, I thought he did, and so that was the main reason. And the second reason was just to get out of the state for a while.
So it was for a few reasons. So you wanted to get out of there because just for a little bit of a break, like a vacation type thing, and you also you were trying to convince CJ that maybe he was wrong about some stuff to do with Onision. His whole thing about you wanted to fly out to be a star, that's all not true, yeah?
I have other things that I want to pursue. I don't... What could I have got from that? Like, him anyway? Like, nothing, really.
Yeah, he was a tiny little channel, but for some reason he thinks that he's a big platform.
That was not my intention to go out there to, like, try to get famous off of, like, that person. No, I was going out there to try to change his views that he saw upon another person.
Okay, so just the last thing I want to mention here is his defense to this would be when you were there, you did a little stream with me, you were talking to the blog, that sort of thing. So what would you say to that?
I just wanted to meet more people and talk.
Now we're going to move on to the day that the incident actually took place. So on that day, you were 20 years old. I think he was 29.
I'm not sure about his age, but I was 20.
So he bought alcohol, and you were drinking a bit, and we saw you drink on stream. People were pointing out, why is he giving this girl who's underage? He's giving her alcohol, so that's a crime immediately. But there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of arguing about how much you actually drank and whether or not you were tipsy, if you were drunk or anything like that. So could you just clarify whatever you remember from how much you drank and the effect?
Yeah, I drank three, I can't talk. I drank 3 mini bottles, and
bottles of what?
With that, I was also, maybe 2 things of vodka and then something else. And then also on top of that, I was super sleepy after getting there. So, like, after the flight and everything, it was like, so both of those things together is just horrible.
Well, yeah, because even if you're not drunk, I think a lot of the time when you do drink, it can certainly make you feel tired. I mean, and there's some days it affects you more than others. Like, for me, I drink wine a lot. And sometimes I can drink 2 bottles of wine and I feel completely fine. Other times I drink half a glass and I'm falling asleep. So sometimes it can vary on how much you've eaten that day, if you were already tired. I mean, lots of different things can affect it. So there are people who have been arguing, oh, she did 1 shot, because you did a shot as well, didn't you?
Well, it was 3 mini bottles, so that's...
Okay, so just 3 mini bottles, okay.
Like, maybe that's like 2 shots in a bottle, correct? Or
I don't know exactly, but something like that. So people sometimes can react in all sort of ways to what they're drinking, and some people were trying to say, oh, she only drank this amount, she couldn't have been drunk, for example.
On top of the shots, I was also super tired, so I just wanted to go to bed that night, but he wanted to stream, and I was just tired.
Did you find it strange that the whole time you were there, he was just streaming the whole time? It was quite strange. It was as if you didn't have any privacy. It was the whole time he's awake, he's streaming, and you're kind of off to the side. You can hear you talking, but you can't see you half the time. You're in this little room stuck together, and he's streaming to the world the whole time. You have no privacy. What if you want to take a nap? What if you want to go to the bathroom? I mean, it's a bit strange.
I mean, I think I did go to the bathroom at one point when he was streaming, but other than that, I mostly had my privacy when he left every morning to go to his clinic, because he did drugs,
Next, for the same day, the whole drinking thing later on that day, do you believe that CJ purposely took advantage of you, or do you think he was completely oblivious and that he thought what he was doing was okay?
Both. Honestly, I wanted to go to bed, and I told him this, and he kept pushing to cuddle. He kept pushing it, and he kept asking it, and I finally was like, okay, whatever, just fucking cuddle. And then he started rubbing me, and he was like asking me questions, and I was like, I said no twice, as he stated, I've said no twice. And then I was like, whatever, just do whatever. I might have been buzzed, and I was asleep, like, so freaking tired, so I just laid there and just,
And so do you think that, like what we were just speaking about earlier, and you were saying that you sometimes have issues with saying no and stuff, and that was to do with your past. So do you think maybe that your issues with saying no is maybe also part of what made you eventually give in, so to speak, because of maybe trauma you've experienced in the past?
Yeah. Even to this day, I have issues saying no to, like, a lot of things, not just this situation, but just, like, I just hate saying no to people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, drama from my past, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, that does explain quite a lot of it, I would think. So after things went down, did he just kind of, like, shoot out of there? Like, obviously you got on stream together and you did that stream.
He made me go on stream that to clear things up. He wanted to go on and do that.
I want to ask about after that. So after that, he was, like... People were saying he was on the run from the cops. So, like, when that stream ended, what happened? Did he just, like, leave immediately? Or did you guys talk for a little bit and then he left? Or, like, what happened when that stream ended?
We were talking, and while we were talking, he was recording everything without me knowing. And I called my mom, and I was talking to her about it. And she told me I should call the cops. Once I left the motel room and got the cops came and he was completely gone. He was streaming his runaway with his grandma. Yeah. Which is
I've always found that so amusing. He leaves, he jumps in the back of the car, and he's on the stream immediately having the conversation with his grandma. Like, what is going on in this guy's head? It's insanity.
It's another stupid thing
it's like a movie. Done. After everything went down, obviously, he released some certain tapes of youth. I mean, one of them was the tape with your mother, and you were saying it's not rape.
I'm gonna get you home. Don't worry about that.
No, I mean, if I called the cops, he would have been arrested for other stuff.
You'll have to go to the police department. Oh my God. You'd have to have a rape test.
Why?
For his DNA.
No, if I call the cops, there's nothing else to say.
What do you mean?
It would be considered rape, and it's not.
Wait a minute, what?
If I called the cops, I'd have to say he raped me.
Right.
It's not rape.
You have to remember.
He was there. I was scared. What could he have
right
done?
there. Yeah. You're not going to sit there and say, yes, this guy raped me when you're sitting in the same room as him. Yeah. Okay. So, but the other thing I wanted to ask you about was there was another tape that he released, and it was, I guess there wasn't too much context around it, but he released this tape, and it was you essentially saying that if he pissed you off, you would tell people that he had raped you.
Why would you think of telling people that they raped you or something? Why would you think of that?
I didn't. You said it.
You said...
I didn't say anything about rape, bro.
Then what are you saying?
Nothing. Literally. I'm pissed off about what just happened. On fucking LOL cow.
That's not important. Who cares?
Me. Not really, but...
So you wouldn't do that?
No.
You're not gonna tell people that?
No. Not unless you piss me off really fucking bad.
Why would you do that, though?
I don't know.
So,
I mean,
he brings this up all the time, so I just wanted to ask you what your side of events there is.
That was after he did that to me. So, I mean, it's true. If he pissed me off, I would tell people he raped me because he did, technically.
Yeah,
I mean,
see, he thinks that you saying that was you threatening to lie and say...
I mean, it wasn't a lie, though, because he said... I said no twice. That should have been enough evidence.
Yeah, my thing when I spoke to him, and I know a lot of people as well, we all thought that it was more. It wasn't that you were saying, "Oh, I'm going to lie and tell everyone that you raped me." It was more you saying, "You did rape me, and if you don't, and if you do piss me off, then I will tell everyone what you did do." So there was a couple of ways that people did interpret that. So a lot of people fell on one of those two sides. So that's just why I wanted to ask you to clear that up, because I don't think you've really had a chance to address a lot of these things, especially that you've never really talked about it. So
no, I haven't. Yeah, but I mean,
so would you say you regret saying that part now that all the tapes are out?
Regret like saying that I threatened to tell people that he raped me?
Yeah.
I mean, he did though. Like
I know, but what I'm saying is, obviously he claims. And this is the next question. What were you told the reason for your case being shut down was? Because he claims that these tapes were a big part of why the case was eventually shut down, because he gave these tapes over to the police and apparently they believed him. So that's why I'm asking you if you regret saying that, because now it's on tape and it was taken and it was used against you. So that's why I was asking that question.
I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't even know I was on tape as well, but I called the detective back up, and basically they said that it was dropped because there was not enough evidence. And I've never dealt with like lawyers or detectives, so I was like in the saddest. I was like, oh, okay. And then we just hung up. I didn't know what to do further the conversation. I didn't know what to do. I was upset. Like, I just...
Well, yes, it's not an easy thing at all, especially when you're just told something like that. I think it probably fits into what he's saying. I feel like these sort of cases are always very hard to prove in the first place. And when you have a lot of conflicting reports, such as he's got some tapes that maybe show one way and then there's another recording of him saying that you said no twice, there can sometimes be a lot of confusion. And I mean, you've seen it yourself on YouTube. There are a lot of people who are for you, there are a lot of people who are against you, and you have to remember, if you had like a jury of people, it is very likely that would be the same thing when it comes out there. So it's not maybe a 100% factual case that people are going to look at and think, yeah, this is definitely what happened one way or the other. And because there was just a lot of misinformation out there and there was a lot of confusing things put out there. But hopefully with time, people can see what the truth is for themselves. People can make their own minds up. So the last thing I want to ask is if you have anything else you would like to add or anything else you want to clear up.
I mean, people were wondering why I stayed the extra days with him and streamed at the mall, because that happened after that. I mean, I didn't have anywhere else to go at the time, and I don't know if you or anybody else knows this, but I literally, after that happened, after he raped me or caressed me into sex, either way, I literally was sick. Like, every morning I woke up, I didn't even want to leave to go out to stream. I literally threw up in the bathroom. I was ill for some strange reason. And then at the mall, he tried to get $100 from me for cocaine as well. So he was trying to ask me for money for drugs, and I was like, no, I'm not giving you money for cocaine. I'm not doing cocaine with you, or cocaine at all. But like, those are some of the other major things that
I've seen a lot of people, they wonder why is she still there, why is she still streaming. And my thing that I always said in videos was, I always thought, well, one, you had nowhere else to go. He's paid for your flight out there. You've got a flight back. You've not got the money to pay to get yourself back out there. I mean, once it all went down, was it Beck and the police and whatever, they all helped?
It was
got you home.
Beck paid for my hotel. The police paid for the room the next night. Maxie bought me food, which she bought me a lot of food. I didn't expect that. And they brought me to the airport the next when I had to leave. And I did keep my distance as well. Like, we went to McDonald's and I was completely ignoring, like, away from him, and he got so pissed off. But, like, I wanted to keep my distance.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't just, it felt bad. Like, after that, I just couldn't do it. But I didn't know the state either where I was. So, yeah, basically I was stuck there until I had a way out.
In response to the situation, RealStream News was very vocal, and that how he thought her accusations were nothing other than falsehoods.
Did you tell any lies in that situation?
No, absolutely not. Zero.
Well then,
Zero lies.
if you didn't tell any lies, why is it that after this happened, you got on stream with her and admitted that she said no to sex twice before you had sex with her? So was that a lie? Yes or no? That's not a lie. You said you didn't tell any lies.
When we got on stream, we were supposed to talk about literally, like, when we talked, because I had the recordings before I went on stream. Those are recordings that you heard. Then we went on stream. Like, we were supposed to just talk about literally just hooking up, and then she went on there and said that. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why are you turning it into this when that's not even what it was? Not to mention 3 days prior, you said, if you piss me off, I'm going to say you raped me, which also we had on recording.
You admitted she said no twice.
Okay, and like, listen, when we were there, she said, like, no, like, it wasn't like, listen, it was not like that the way, like, people are trying to make it seem, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. Like, I got up.
Please explain to me. When someone says no, does that
are you just trying to make this into something? What is wrong with you, Rag?
I'm being serious right now. I'm not joking.
In all seriousness, like, it wasn't like any assault or anything like that. We were like, she invited me into bed and we were chilling, and that's it. That's all that really happened, man.
So she invited you 100%. She invited.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
She invited you to do what?
To go over there and hook up.
To go over there and hook up. This woman you had just met. How long has she been there? A few days?
About a day.
About a day.
Yeah.
Okay, she'd been there about a day. She invites you to the bed to hook up. And then when you go to have sex, she's like, no.
She was hesitant at first, and then she said
okay, so then why did she invite you to the bed if she was going to say no? I don't see
that's the thing, though. That's my point. It does make sense, though. That's what I'm telling you.
But she then said no a second time.
No, she was hesitant at first.
You admitted she said no twice.
When I was on stream, I said some fucking shit that is not how it went. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
So you lied, yes or no? You told me You told me only minutes ago that you did not tell any lies in that whole situation, and now you're saying that you lied.
Right? Come on, stop. Please, just stop.
I mean,
just stop.
You said you did not tell any lies. Now you're telling me that you did tell any lies.
No, I'm not.
You're saying I said something I shouldn't have said. That means you lied.
He even went as far as to start referring to her as Scamber.
And that's kind of what that whole Scamber situation was like.
Scamber? Did you really just call that poor woman Scamber after what you did to her?
Did you really just call that poor woman?
You may think I'm being serious here.
I really hope you're not.
You're calling this girl Scamber after these even if these accusations are false. Okay.
Yes, I didn't give her that name. I didn't give her that name. That's actually what everybody that's given her that name.
You're going to mock your alleged victim.
Like what? What do you mean? Like if she's lying about me, why? What obligation do I have to protect her?
Say for example, you went to court, right? These accusations are entirely false. Say I believe. Say they're false. Okay, so let's go on this. I'm not saying they are, but say they are. Okay, just for this hypothetical situation, you now go to court and you are arguing this case, and you get up on the stand and you call her Scamber, or someone plays their stream.
Obviously, if someone plays their stream, obviously, if I go,
someone plays their stream, and you're calling her Scamber.
Obviously, like listen, and I do plan on suing her. Just keep that in mind. When I do go to court, obviously, I'm not going to call her Scamber, Rag. Let's be.
But you just did.
Someone because I think it's. And if they do, they take it to
scammer.
court. And if they do, they take it to court.
Surely, if they
take that clip to court, then they do.
I said you seemed smart earlier, but I have to take that back. Why would you come on a stream and call your alleged victim scammer?
Because she's not a victim. That's why.
It also came out that while she was with him, he had recorded her in private without her knowing it. One of the recordings that he released after the fact had Amber threatening him, telling him that if he made her mad, she would tell people that he had raped her.
You said...
I didn't say anything about rape, bro.
Then what are you saying?
Nothing. Literally. I'm pissed off about what just happened.
And in another clip, where she was on the phone with her mother, she can be heard telling her mother that it wasn't rape.
It would be considered rape, and it's not. If I called the cops, I'd have to say he raped me.
Right.
It's not rape!
RSN claims still to this day that it was by supplying these tapes as evidence to the police that he managed to get the case against him shut down. RealStream News has spent a lot of time trying to discredit Amber, her past, and her accusations against him. As you can see, we have two very different sides to all of this, and we also have evidence that seemingly points in two different ways. On one hand, we have proof that Amber said no twice.
I said no twice.
And that she had been drinking, yet sexual intercourse still occurred.
I guess there was some drinking, alright?
But on the other hand, there are also these very, very concerning tapes. Overall, this is just a very, very confusing situation. But there is still more to cover, and there is some of this that we can look a little closer at. First thing I want to know is, can you just clarify and give a bit of information on your experience with this sort of thing and what gives you sort of the right, the authority to kind of talk about this? You know what I'm saying? Because people might question, why is she got a right to speak about this? What does she know? So,
right.
If you could clarify that.
Yeah, a lot of people are really surprised or doubt that what do you know about certain cases or how these things work or whatever? What makes you a reporter or a police officer? Well, technically, I am neither one of those specific things. However, I volunteer as an advocate for different rape crisis centers, and in doing that, you become really aware of the legislative process of sexual battery. So whenever it comes in as a criminal case, I know, is at least varying from about 3 states, how that process works up until prosecution. So as far as, filing the report, starting an investigation, what you deal with a detective, how it goes to the DA, or there's a number of different things that a district attorney is called, but essentially it's somebody that kind of oversees a certain jurisdiction of a state, and depending on the size of the state and the population will depend on how many there are in a particular state. And what makes cases like this so difficult, and I mean rape cases in general, so difficult, is that a district wants to be known for the cases that it's won. So when you're delivered a case that it might not win,
they don't want to take it.
They don't want to take, and it's really, really screwed up, because they'll take something like, this is, a case of child molestation, for example. That would be really easy to win. So they'll take those and boom, But if it's something that might take a little bit more effort, they won't do it. However, what they'll end up doing is awarding the victim compensation.
Okay.
So they still acknowledge that it's a crime, but they don't go forward with the prosecution. And that's probably where the justice system will fail rape victims.
Okay. Moving on to the Amber situation specifically. Obviously, there were recordings of Amber where she threatened RSN by saying, if you piss me off, I'll tell everyone you raped me. And there was another one where she said specifically to her mother on the phone, she said, it's not rape. There's been a lot of people arguing about why she said these things. Some people thought that proves that she was lying about everything. Other people thought it didn't really mean much. So why do you think Amber reacted in the way that she did, and any sort of the actions that she took? Why do you think she reacted a certain way? Do you think there's a reason for that?
Yeah, typically, whenever someone goes through a traumatic experience, there can be a lot of volatile emotional responses, and they vary. However, they all fall under the umbrella of something that's known as rape trauma syndrome. And it can go from emotional, physical, behavioral. But a lot of people don't want to believe that it happened. So there's a lot of doubt. Like, that's probably the most common one. And they'll try to kind of ignore it, and then there's the realization period. There's intense anger, but the thing is, and this is what people forget, is that none of how the victim responds cancels out the fact that a crime happened. It doesn't matter what that's not how that works. It's not like a math problem. That's not how that works. So a person is going to have this occur to them, and it's going to be incredibly surreal. And there's a lot of thoughts as far as the crisis. There's the disorganization stage and the reorganization stage, and the disorganization stage can elicit a lot of really responses that don't make a whole lot of sense, or that it interferes with their daily life. Like, I'm going crazy, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drink and forget about it, I'm going to sleep it away. And in the reorganization stage, that's when you start moving on with, here, okay, I'm going to change my number, I'm going to move. Like, these are the coping mechanisms that tend to happen as a part of that. So it can all be pretty well explained. It just, a lot of people don't know about the specifics of what happens to rape victims. And that's something that I've unfortunately had to see a lot of people go through. But it's at least helped me understand what it looks like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a misconception of how it all works. I think a lot of people are very used to movies or TV shows where someone's grabbed and someone forces themselves on you, and then just there's maybe hysteria that ensues from there, and it's just all very clear cut in those sort of cases. But from my understanding, from anyone I've ever spoken to, actual real life rape cases never work that way. It's never so clear cut. It's never. And usually when something like that happens to someone, is it not something like most of these cases? It happens with someone who's close to you or someone you know. Whereas movies would have it would have you think that people are jumping out the bushes and grabbing women all the time, whereas usually it's people who you know or that are close to you. So I think there's a lot of misrepresentation in the media and stuff about these sort of crimes, so that doesn't help when it comes down to explaining why people act in certain ways. Obviously, you've heard the recording of that Discord call that multiple people were in after the incident took place, and that was where CJ was in there, and some people took what he was saying as an admission of guilt. He said what happened was wrong.
After she said to come cuddle, who said that first? Who even brought that up? Are you saying that she initiated that whole thing?
I said what I said, and then just wait, you want to come over here? Because we were both going to go to bed, but it was just like the conversation kept going. You understand what I'm saying?
Just
okay,
help
so
me understand
when you shut off all the lights and you plan on going to sleep, because that's how it was.
Yeah.
We were going to go to sleep and everything like that, and everything. Like, I just said, I was just like, oh man, I thought they were going to give us 2 beds. She's like, well, do you want to come over here? It's like, that's how it was. Do you want to come over here and cuddle? So I went over there. Okay. And then we were cuddling and shit, and like when people do when they cuddle and shit, like just really, I don't know, just like touching her leg and shit, and so. Like,
was she touching you back?
I guess.
With her, was she touching you back with her hand? Was she reciprocating this?
Was she doing the bump and grind?
Yeah. Anything?
Well, kind of like, you know what I mean, like kind of pushing back into me, kind of, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, we got that going on. So then you became aroused, and then you touched her. You thought, oh, this is a consensual thing.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
that's
go
what
ahead.
I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so then, you put your hand on her thigh, and at this point, she tells you no.
No, my hand was on her thigh a while before that. My hand was
okay. So
always on her thigh.
where did she say no?
It was just like kind of like it seemed like a cute no to me. It was just like no, like it wasn't like a, you know what I mean? It wasn't. It was like within the same sentence, and then like it was just like, all right, yeah. Never.
And she looked at you directly and said no, or how did she say no? Not that it matters.
She wasn't looking at me directly. No.
Okay. And
we were both still cuddling, and like I was just like rubbing her and stuff. You know what I mean? That's why if someone like
Okay.
Like, it wasn't like I'm saying I didn't like force like you know what I'm saying? I didn't force a situation. If she was like, yeah, this is how
Answer the goddamn question. Was it wrong or not?
I just don't fucking like that the
Answer
conversation turned the way it did. I don't like the way it
Was
turned.
it wrong or not? Answer the fucking question. Was
Should
it
she
wrong
have
or
drank?
not?
I probably should have left her home when she was drinking. Yeah.
You know
probably
what?
should've.
No, answer
Yes.
the fucking
I
question.
just did answer the question. I said I
No,
should have left
was
her
it
home when she
wrong
was
or
drinking.
not? Just say yes or
probably
no.
shouldn't have bought her alcohol.
I didn't buy her alcohol. It was just I had it there. I mean,
Regardless,
given
you're
it to her.
answering yes or no. Was it wrong?
okay, it doesn't matter. I gotta
Yes,
take
it
care of the
matters.
situation.
It
I have to take care of the
matters.
situation.
Was it
I have to
wrong?
take care of the situation.
You know
Okay,
what?
so
You know what?
let me handle this.
Let me finish.
Be a man, admit if it was wrong or not.
yeah. Well, apparently I can't take care
Do
of
you
this.
think
Okay.
it was wrong?
Should I have let her drink? No.
No.
That
Was it wrong? Was
What-
the
what-
whole
what-
asking? If you're
Well,
know
as soon
what?
as she said
Do you
no,
think
as
your
soon as she
actions
said,
were wrong?
as soon as she said no, like, I should have just let it go. Sure, it was wrong.
So you think it was wrong?
I just, oh my God, see, this is how it goes, man.
You just have to say one word. Yes or no.
Okay, right. I gotta go take care of this. It's been fun again.
Answer.
Oh my gosh.
I just fucking said it. I just said it. Yes, it was wrong. Okay, whatever. It was wrong. Yes.
But one of the things he said in there, and he acknowledged the fact that Amber never once expressed or slightly said anything to do, like she never said that she was attracted or interested in him, and Masked Babe, you can hear in this clip, is pressing him on this because Amber had actually said on live streams and stuff she wasn't interested, and he had made it clear that he was interested in her, but she had never reciprocated those feelings, and Masked Babe pressed them on it, and he admitted that she never once indicated that she was interested or attracted to him.
That's what I was trying to make it clear to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I made it clear before she came here that she, like, I even said it in a text message, like, I would like to date you. Like, I even said that in a message. I don't know. I don't know. I
No,
guess
the
not.
answer is no to that. You just look. Now is not time for your pride. Okay, set that aside because this is a serious question. So just be honest. Did she ever at one point tell you that you were attractive or that she was attracted to you? Yes, no.
I mean, I guess not. Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, but you know what I mean? There's social cues, and I just.
At any point other than when you started touching her, when she was intoxicated, did she imply or say to you that she was interested in having any sort of intimate relationship with you? Yes, no.
She wasn't there for that long.
Before she came there, because you guys did this on the first night. This is when she was drunk, okay? So before she got drunk, did she, when in messages or anything, imply that she was interested in you sexually or romantically?
We didn't talk that much. That's the thing, you know.
So no. So you guys didn't talk that much, but she came to see you for 6 days in a hotel room. I'm not trying to attack you, but this just doesn't, you know.
No, you know what?
That doesn't make sense, right?
That wasn't too smart on my idea, on my part. No.
And how important do you think that fact is to all of this?
It's very important, actually. The fact that she never gave consent, and the fact that it is documented that she actually said no and he acknowledges it, is enough for a prosecution. I'm so surprised at the video where that's made abundantly clear that nothing has been done. Clearly the police have not seen this.
He claims that he gave these recordings of her claiming that it wasn't rape and that she was going to threaten to tell people that she had raped him. And he says that those tapes that he gave over to the police are what closed down the case. He says that's the reason the case was shut down, because they believed that was sufficient evidence to clear his name.
Well, and to that I respond, we've never seen any documentation, we've never seen any paperwork. There would be something that states that.
The situation, as mentioned before, is one that has caused a great divide between all people. Many people believe that Amber was lying, and they will point to events in her past to help solidify this argument. But mostly this comes from the recordings that RSN has released. But on the flip side, many people do still believe that the evidence against him is very, very damning. He agreed with her story when she told it that she had said no twice before they had sex. And on a Discord call with others after the fact, he admits that he thought it was wrong and that he regretted having sex with her. To many people, that alone was an admission of guilt. But the RSN story does not end there.
Because I believe he did rape her. I believe that fully. It's still hard for me to talk about.
I bought him a Chromebook. I got him a Valentine's Day present. I got him birthday presents.
We'll just pin this on Jilly.
So that you can prove your loyalty to him, almost like you're in a cult.
You kind of set this up for yourself. I thought you were going to explain the situation. You didn't tell me you were going to show nudes. He's like, yeah, I did, and you told me to.
Do you guys want to see the things that people sent me? The nudes? Oh, check it out. More tush right here. More rude. Doing more bullshit like that. Woo! Look at that. I'm done. And if you fucking assholes keep fucking disliking these videos and talking shit, I am going to continue to do this